out of demand, I've decided to finally make this video on 5G, understanding my perspective on the process. Also, I've got a whole bunch of people we're going to be talking to that are other influencers on what their perspective of 5G is, more of a spiritual perspective as well, and exactly what we think you need to know to move through this time, and also to understand what is really going on. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness and raise their vibration by making spirituality practical and relatable. That's my new intro.
I like it, bro.
It's nice. A little bit longer. I'm with my buddy, best friend Victor Oddo. What we're doing right now is I thought I would come over here. We have, I'm sure you've been getting it as well. So many people asking,
yes,
what is your perspective on 5G? Some people kind of freaking out about it, and a lot of fear. They say that, you know, there's people apparently that in Europe have burned down buildings of those towers of 5G.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of controversy on what's going on right now. But what I thought we would do is maybe share our perspectives, like a grounded perspective, and maybe they haven't even heard mine yet, so I'll just kind of explain it real quick, and then I'd love to get your perspective as well. But I believe that with this 5G technology and how afraid people are of it, I think that, yes, in some ways, you know, I have a video that's on like the 3 agendas that maybe some people don't know are going on. I'll link that video below as well. But not everyone may have the best intentions with some of the technology that's created. Maybe when it comes to 5G, it's created because maybe it would influence the planet in a certain way, or the people's consciousness in a certain way. So I believe that maybe there's something there with that. However, I believe that right now on the planet, it's truly waking people up, even just knowing this kind of information. But also, I really believe that we will be much more immune, and it will affect us way less the more we raise our own vibration. So if we just simply raise our vibration and focus on us by not buying into the fear, that is the biggest thing. And the thing I think I've heard Bashar and some other people talk about as well, the key is us raising our vibration. So maybe it becomes a challenge to us, because even with this whole thing that's going around in the world and the reason that we're quarantined right now, the thing that would really make you more immune is if you raise your vibration. If you eat healthy, if you focus on your own immune system, you raise your vibration, it doesn't have as much effect on you. Right. So personally, a spiritual perspective on this, we're going to get your perspective, Leeor's perspective on this, but is that if we raise our vibration, it won't affect us as much. Maybe it's there for negative intentions, but I think that as well, people on certain timelines, it's almost like we attract what our own energy is. And I know even my mom, for example, is really focused on this, and I'm trying to tell her, like, to understand that there's different timelines that exist. So if you're focused on it a lot, add an energy to it, maybe that's the timeline that you experience, like the pocket of energy in the planet. But the key is to remain in your own state, because I think there is a timeline where that doesn't get brought forward in certain ways, and it's our duty to raise our own vibration. And that's why we do things like mass meditation and stuff to help kind of divert it. But what is your perspective on, you know, when people ask you about this, or, you know, I know, by the way, both Victor and I, we haven't done a crazy amount of extensive research on this, but intuitively this is what we feel.
Right.
But what is your perspective on it?
Yeah, so what comes to mind is, like, currently as the time we're shooting this, you know, most of the planet is on lockdown, right?
Yeah.
And when this first happened, I was thrown off because all my children, I have 3 kids, normally they go to school, and I can have my normal everyday routine and kind of maintain my energy. But, you know, we've been sort of forced to be inside. The kids are home. It's kind of nutty. So for a time, the external situation caused me to be kind of in an energetic disarray. Yeah. So in a worse position, kind of like the 5Gs are messing with their energies in a sense, so some say. So, but what happened with that? I like to believe that spirit can bounce off of anything. Yeah. And because of the circumstances, I said, okay, what can I do? I can ground myself more. I take the family to nature. So now, even in this sort of lesser ideal situation, my family and myself, our vibration is higher than ever, because we responded positively to the circumstance. So even whatever it is, whether it's 5G, I really don't believe it matters if you can respond from an empowered perspective. Right. Now, I'm guilty of this too. I remember I was one of the first. I remember looking down at my phone one time and seeing, oh, it says 5G. And I was like, I'm AT&T service. I'm like, oh my God. I remember I told you about it. Yeah. So for a time, I was like, this is not good, you know? And I don't believe it's good. I can sense the energy coming from my computer. It is disorienting. But again, I think no matter what happens, no matter what cards that the elite play, it's if we can respond from a place of empowerment and not fear, it's going to be okay. And like what you said about like if we can raise our vibration, we won't be affected. Yeah. And some people might say, well, how? Literally. Well, one example that comes to mind is when we raise our vibration, we're more connected to spirit. We have more access to our higher consciousness, right? Yeah. So for us, it might be if you can remain in this positive state of being, no matter what's going on around you, you'll be the one that finds yourself intrigued to perhaps a little device you buy for your house. Like we were just talking earlier, like a couple of us have invested in devices, and I'm not going to get one because I'm afraid and have learned all these things. It's because, oh, that sounds kind of cool. That idea resonates. I'm noticing the 5G effect a little bit. I think it would be cool. So you can roll through these harsh challenges with a positive mind frame and align yourself, as you said, to these different versions of reality where even though 5G is on the planet, we will have adjusted ourselves to a point where it's not going to affect us. In fact, it's going to cause us to become better and higher by people as it is. It's a catalyst for more growth, more grounding. So
I agree.
So that's the way I look at it from a spiritual perspective.
I love that, dude. That's amazing. I think as well what's happening, let's look at the good part of this as well, is this is waking up so many people. So many people are getting, like, even though there's some negative and the negative emotion people are feeling, even with the whole pandemic and stuff, so many people are waking up to questioning their reality, to understand maybe there's something else going on here. You know, the fact that certain people have been literally deplatformed for talking about 5G, that's kind of a sign that maybe something they're saying is true. If someone is just making like, it's very interesting how this is working and what's playing out on the planet right now. But I truly believe Napoleon Hill has this quote that I read years ago. It's everything that appears to be negative has a seed of some positivity in it. It just requires us to like plant it and to understand and to look for it. So the positive of this is more and more people are waking up and understanding this is a part of a process of us taking our power back. I also believe, this will be a little more esoteric, I believe that in the past, there's different timelines that exist right now that we're connected to. I think we're connected to maybe back in Atlantis. I believe there's some stories about that or what may have happened, and part of it was that certain people used technology to a point that ended up destroying us as a planet, and that's why there's a fall of Atlantis. Maybe in a way we're going to a timeline to where we can choose something new. I truly believe that we're on a more optimal timeline, but we're coming at a point when these timelines are kind of emerging in a way. So this could be a manifestation of that. Back in the day, the Atlantis, when we had technology, we used it for not great purposes. We used it to control, and now maybe there's a certain elite number of people that are using it as a form of control. But why are they doing this? Because they're completely losing control, and it's one of the last cards they have up their sleeve. That's what I believe. So I think that it's inevitable that more and more people are going to wake up. We're doing our best to make content that helps people do that. You're watching this video, which means you're holding space for people in your life that may not even be aware of this. But the most important thing you can do is raise your own vibration, and by you doing that, it's going to influence everyone else. So also, this is Victor Oddo. He makes amazing YouTube videos. He's got his own perspective and unique way of expressing that, and I'll go and link his channel below, so check Victor out. And thank you for coming on, brother.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go. You called me sir.
That's okay.
I'm gonna go find Leeor now, and we'll get their perspective. I'm with my good friend Bridget Nielsen, and she's an awesome YouTuber. And what I thought I would do is bring her on as well to get your perspective. I made a video, and we've been doing segments and getting people's perspective on that of 5G.
And
maybe what you think about it. What you think is important to know about it right now, or just to do to facilitate that, that whole topic in general. But what do you think?
I think it's very important that we, I mean, there's all the testing and stuff to be coherent with our biological vessels, those things that uplift and enhance like life. Right? I would say that it doesn't. So in this conversation, and also as things happen, and as we're learning as a society what we're doing with this, and things are implemented or not, I think it's like, how do we stay as coherent with our natural selves as possible? And technologies can be made that are absolutely coherent with us. So it's not a fear of technology. That's great. But so in that, if you're in situations in cities or in proximity to those kinds of energies, definitely the vibration actually does make a difference in creating bubbles of love and of like family vibe and like consciousness. It actually is a buffer. And
that's really cool.
So Dan Winter talks about it.
Awesome. So it's like the energy, so maybe the intention of the energy, it scatters the energy a little bit.
Yes.
Makes it a little more chaotic.
A lot of it, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it, but we're trying to be nice about it, or not nice about it, but we're trying to play it safe here with the words we use for this, because it's a very controversial topic.
Yeah.
But the idea is making like pockets of love or pockets of family and really focusing on that.
Yeah.
Maybe even putting, what's coming to my mind right now is like putting like an energetic grid around our house or something.
Definitely. But it's field cultivation. So like literally like my Qigong teacher, he's like, I'm not worried about it, because he's like, I'm building my etheric body, I'm building my field all the time.
Yep.
So it definitely takes like conscious building.
Yeah.
Like I feel it if I'm around it. I do. I feel the effect.
Yes.
But as long as like I'm connecting with more, building my energy, building my etheric body with certain things like Tai Chi and yoga and meditation, and really strengthening that, and then building the love consciousness and the connection consciousness, it really does build bubbles.
Yeah.
And then there's pieces like natural materials absorb those things, and they also allow your aura to connect with it, expand, right?
Okay, yeah.
So like synthetic materials, your aura can't penetrate that, and so it shrinks it, right? And the technology and the waves do that as well. So as long as we're connected with natural materials, so I like having like a lot of wood or stone, different things like in my
different
actual
elements.
living space.
Wow.
And then being in nature. So it's like, how can we continue to let our aura and our etheric body like grow and nourish it and feed it and just really make that like a high priority.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's your perspective on this is that the most important thing to you is growing your own energetic field.
Yeah.
And living in that love, having elements around your house that kind of emphasize that, that kind of in a way counteract it in a way.
Yes.
So as long as we do things like that, we have an ability to, in a way, protect ourselves or to be in that high vibe state to where it doesn't affect us as much.
Yeah.
I think it's important to hear that too, so I'm glad you said that, because we have the ability to raise our vibration and to set up our environment in such a way.
Yeah. It takes work. It's not just like, because it can be just like, raise your vibration, but it's like, I mean, it's a dedicated effort.
Right.
But it will work.
So maybe is there like an energy practice where like we just do deep breathing or something and we can like visualize a field around our body? That might be something powerful to do.
Yeah. So I mean, a basic qigong, like where you're building the energy in your lower dantian, so around your belly area, and actually visualizing and feeling a charge.
Right.
Like, so that could be like a golden light or a white light, and feeling the energy grow and actually like building that field. Everyone's done the exercises where you feel each other's energy fields, right? So doing that with yourself and building your energetic field is key, because that's what it's deteriorating. Right. Which holds all your memory, your consciousness.
I feel like it's like kind of put holes in the aura in a way. So the cool thing though about everything you're saying is that we have the ability to over our own power. So whereas a lot of people, I think, have this perspective that, this is happening to us, and then we're then in that victim mentality, and then it's disempowering, that lowers our frequency, we are now able to realize that if we raise our vibration, do energy practices and stuff, we can then shield ourselves.
Definitely. And we also have the choice to move to different places that are more connected with nature or more aligned with our energy.
You did that, because I remember watching your videos back in the day, and you were like living in a big city, right? Like California, LA, and then you moved here, and then it was like way different, right?
Yeah. So like we have that availability.
That's cool.
And I think during this time of like quarantine and the changing worlds, it's like we get to reevaluate like who we are as a society, as peoples, as how we live our lives. Yep. And I think that's empowering. Yeah. It's like you have a choice. Like we can choose something different. Yep. And so yeah. Yeah. If you guys don't know Bridget Nielsen yet, I'm going to link her channel below. Definitely go follow her. She makes amazing content, spirituality, some esoteric stuff as well, which I love about what you share. Thank you. So she's got that as well. So thank you for coming on. Thanks, Aaron. And we'll talk to you later. Bye. What do you believe about 5G? What's going on? I believe that the formless cannot be affected by the form. Yep. And we are eternal spiritual beings. And ultimately, everything is going according to plan. So yeah, things could seem a little crazy and a little scary, but it's all perfect. I'm sorry to say. I'm so sorry to say that it's all perfect, but it is all perfect. I think that we all chose and we all made certain agreements before we came into this lifetime to experience certain things. And our spirit and our soul is going to continue. We're going to be fine forever. Does that mean to be complacent in this lifetime? No.
It just means to work from love rather than from fear.
I agree.
So if we're living in fear from something, we're allowing that thing to control us and to affect us.
Yeah.
So knowing that ultimately everything's going to be perfectly fine, we're going to continue on, and that there is, for me, I know that there is a God and God exists, and imagine God being affected by 5G. I don't think that's a thing. So it's like we're souls in human physical bodies, we might experience physical things that happen, but ultimately we are protected and guided, and we chose to experience what we're experiencing right now. So when you live from love and when you align to, you let the heart lead, things like that just won't affect you.
I agree.
That's truly what I believe.
Yeah. I believe that raising our vibration is the key to not having it affect us, and raising our vibration is about being in love, not fear, not buying into it. Even if people are aware of certain things, sometimes being aware of it is one thing, but being fearful of it, and being aware and fearful actually feeds the old paradigm. It's actually feeding the opposite of what we want.
It's actually empowering it. So it's just like a thought form, right?
Yes.
Or like an egregore.
Talk a little bit about egregores for a second.
So an egregore is a collective thought form. So thoughts are beings, right? They can be entities. They're actually they're conscious. And whatever we feed, whatever thought form we feed, especially if we feed it as a group, when it then becomes an egregore, it becomes more and more powerful. So right now there is an egregore around this 5G, the concept of 5G. And the more we feed it with our fear, the more powerful it becomes, and the more it can actually affect us on a physical level. So what do we want to feed? What egregore do we want to grow? Do we want to grow the egregore of love? Love rises above everything and defeats everything. It wins it all. And if we just support each other and love each other and don't live in that fear, we can create this egregore that we sustain with our gratitude and our love and our heart energy, and that will protect us. We'll be protected. We can have cures for everything. We can be protected from all energies, but just consider what egregore you're feeding. There's that one, there's like two wolves within each person, right? There's the bad wolf and the good wolf, and it's like which one wins within you, and it's the one that you feed. So what are you feeding? Are you feeding the fear
love
or the love?
Exactly. Yeah, and I love that what you shared about egregores as well, because I talk about how we're all connected, and I call it like a pendulum, which is from this book that I read.
Same thing.
But the idea is that if you're the key to diffusing it is to be aware of it, but not to emotionally feed it one way or the other. Just to be aware of it. Neutralized by it, and just understand it's a part of our process of awakening. It's awakening more people with everything going on right now. But feed what you want, and feed that timeline as well in a way.
What you feed with your attention is what's going to grow.
Exactly.
It's going to affect you. So if you're really afraid of this 5G thing, you're really freaking out and reading all this. That butterfly was the size of my face.
Really?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I didn't see it.
And you're feeding all that fear, that will affect you. That's how people get sick. You know.
Even with what's going on in the world right now with this whole quarantine thing, people are.
It's another egregore.
It's another egregore, exactly. And I think that maybe that egregore actually has a lot of the power.
Yes.
And people start seeing these symptoms and stuff, but it's like
the thing about egregores is they actually do come into physical manifestation. They come from the immaterial world and then they drop into and it's just like, what are we creating with our thoughts and with our attention?
Yes.
And our energy and our beliefs.
Exactly. So the best way to diffuse the egregore is to be aware of it, to observe it, and not to have emotional preferences. Not to feed it.
Starve the egregore.
Starve the egregore of attention.
Yes.
Of attention and emotion. And then focus on what you want. So focus on the love. Focus on raising your vibration. Focus on the connection you have with all your friends and family. Focus on how many people are waking up in the world.
Focus on what you want to feed.
I love that.
You feed things with your attention.
I love how you shared that. Yeah, we went into this video I didn't even think about egregores, but I'm so happy you shared that.
I have 2 sentences about 5G and that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
That's all you needed. That was potent right there. Once again, you guys know Leeor Alexandra. I'll link her below. Other than that, we appreciate you. This was our perspective on 5G. Understand that you have the power within you. All you gotta do is be you. Wow, okay, you did good. I was just going along with it. All right, we love you guys. Peace, much love, and namaste.